All right, we are here. Another week in the college game calculator.
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 401. How are you doing today?
Man, I cannot complain. Today is September the 22nd. The year is 2022. He's the calculator, Mr. 401. And this is Crossing the Lines. So we have another weekly edition of our college picks and NFL picks. So we're gonna be ready to rumble today, calculator. It's a special edition today because Dr. Sachs, man, he
Oh,
sent us some information, right?
from parts unknown. He gave us the last minute info. He says, "Hey, you got to get this out to the people," and that, and we'll describe on why you need to subscribe, like, but especially notify because things are time sensitive when it comes to friendly wagers, my friend.
Absolutely. It definitely is, man. You're on a time crunch. And look, Dr. Sachs was all over it. Before we get rolling, though, we'd like to thank Blackjack TV. They are simulcasting our show on Blackjack TV, and that is
The
on
Jack,
Blackjack. Yes, sir. The Jack on blackjacktv.net. Definitely appreciate them.
absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, calculator. Dr. Sachs, man. He
Oh,
hit you up and he dropped me a bomb. So what's going on there?
oh, and see, and this is how it is, Mr. 41. People come up to me and say, "Calculator, calculator." It's like they say, "Why are you doing all this for free?" And I just have one phrase that I live by: the calculator is a capitalist. So that means I want everybody to make as much money as they possibly can. So that's what we do this for. So what I do is I get my information, and thankfully I have other connections out there. Like I've great friend of the show, Dr. Sachs, and he dropped a good one for us folks. After I explain what happens, pause the show, go make your bets because this is a Thursday night special, a Doctor's Sack special. All right, 7:30 tonight. We have Coastal Carolina -2 against Georgia State. Hey, even after a third consecutive winning season in 2021 under head coach Sean Elliott, Georgia State knew this year's start would be a tough one, opening against four teams, two of them from the Carolinas. They were right. The Panthers are off to an 0-3 start, yet they managed to win the respect of odds makers as they are just 2-point dogs against the 3-0 Coastal Crew. Hey, the Chanticleers had their feathers ruffled to a costly 42-41 decisions to the Panthers when the Coastal Carolina was a 12-point favorite last season. So have a feeling they could have a little bit more focus coming in tonight. Listen, bringing a stellar 9-3 straight up, 10-1-1 against the spread mark in games where they are seeking conference revenge bodes well, right? So does the fact that a 3-0 teams are 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread in game 4 of the season against 0-3 squads coming off a straight up favorite loss, including 4-0 against the spread away. What does that mean? That means take Coastal Carolina minus the points. Yes, I understand. Georgia State, they're 5-0-1 against the spread in Sun Belt openers. However, home teams in conference games coming off a straight up loss as a favorite of negative 17 or more points are just 42, 63, and 3 against the spread. Hey, take Coastal Carolina. They're the better team. Yes, it's on the road, but the better team, and it's only giving up 2 points. I'm going to take the better team, giving up the 2 points. I'm not worried about the home field advantage as much as normal with a team that's coming in 0-3, licking their wounds. I like Coastal Carolina to keep up the work. I'm giving up the 2. Hey, even if it goes to 3, at worst you're getting a push because I do think Coastal Carolina wins straight up, and you're only giving up 2. So take Coastal Carolina -2. And hey, because see, Dr. Sachs came up and said, calculator, you got to give this to people early. I said, hey, I'll do my best, and I said, but hey, you can't do like Iowa State and not give me a little backup. So, make the calculator feel a little good and fuzzy with this one, and he did, and he gave me that. He dropped those against the spreads and those trends for me. And I was like, hey, I like that. So thank you, Dr. Sachs, for the extra info on tonight's game. So, hey, now pause, go make your bet, and then we'll come right back.
While they're doing that calculator, I know you have something to ask me.
Oh, yeah. And I should have asked you at the beginning for one, but hey, we'll tell the people. What are the 3 things Mr. 411 believes in?
Mr. 411 believes in God. Mr. 411 believes in Santa Claus.
Yeah,
And Mr. 411 believes in Dr. Sachs.
that's right. Oh, Dr. Sachs, and I mean, he he comes up with some most off the wall. But hey, when you have trends that are almost 100%, you can't look away. And I think we thank Dr. Sachs for his lock last week in Iowa State, and hey, I have the Dr. Sachs special. I think it was going to continue on a hot streak.
Yeah, man, because Dr. Sachs, man, he loves to drop those bombs for us, and we definitely appreciate him. I heard that he went and he's getting a little rest because he has a lot to do tonight. He's got a lot of moves to make tonight, and he's going to be keeping a close eye on the NFL game. And we're going to talk about NFL later on, but we still have way more college games to cover. So what's next on tap, Calculator?
Oh, hey, and every now and then I also like to give our people some Friday night action, and it's the Friday Night Lights special. Syracuse -9 at home against Virginia. Yeah. UVA has no trouble beating up on the little guys, filling that the teams they play that fill their lineups with walk-ons and academic bowl winners like Richmond and Old Dominion at home. However, we saw how they perform on the road against a team with scholarship players in Illinois, where they lost 24-3 just 2 weeks ago. So with that said, I'm going to ride the Orange Crush once again. Hey, they paid off my faith last week in a miraculous comeback against Purdue last week. Hey, Virginia has nowhere near the quarterback or the overall offense that the Boilermakers possess. So I believe Syracuse can win by 2 touchdowns, especially with this being a nationally televised game, Friday night at home, and I'm only giving up 9.5 points. I said 9 early. That's because this line keeps moving up. So that's why, hey, people, click the notify button, because the sooner you get this, the sooner you get. I just got another notification. This is up to 10 points, people. And it's
gotta
only
hurry
on
up,
Thursday.
don't we?
I'll tell you, I that's why I got these notifications. I don't know why this happens, but I guess a Friday night, another big shot just put some more money on Syracuse. So guys, it's at 10 now. Okay, if you did not get this early, it is at 10 now. That is a magic number. But again, I feel good giving up at least 2 touchdowns in this one. So, hey, keep rolling with the orange. Syracuse -10, folks. Thank you, Mr. 411 and producers, for getting that updated line. I apologize when we were writing this up. This was at 9. It went to 9.5 as I wrote it up, and then now it's already at 10. So get it while you can, folks. But, hey, I think the Syracuse win by 4 touchdowns, even though it hit that magic point of 10. But, hey, defense is better. Offense is better, and Virginia does not play well on the road, and Syracuse is phenomenal at home. So take the orange -10 against Virginia on Friday night.
That's right. And we're going to leave this up for just a second here. So, so we have our proper documentation there.
Yep.
As you can see, we're fluid. We're on
Yes.
the move as well. And Calculator, that's why you're so plugged in, my man.
I got to. I don't want the people and all of a sudden say, "Hey, the calculator lied to me. Is that 10 points?" And here it is. He gave it to 9. Especially when that's one of those magic numbers we talk about. The 7, 10, 14, 21, and 17 like that. But hey, I feel good at 14, so that's why the calculator's still going to stick with the Syracuse Orange for Friday night.
Absolutely. All right. Everything smells lovely. Speaking of smelling, Calculator.
Yes. Yes, sir. Can you smell what the calculator's cooking on this one, my friend? Hey, Vegas tries to get away from me. And the reason it's a smell line is if you look at something and you think it's too good to be true, that's when that is what makes it a smelly line. When I saw Duke 3-0 at the Kansas Jayhawks, let me repeat. The Kansas Jayhawks, the annually past 7 years teams, we had to get over 1 win. Vegas gave Kansas a half a win last week, and we went over this year, right? So when I saw Kansas, I said 7.5. What in the world? I was going to take the Duke Blue Devils all day and get 7.5 against a perennial annual disappointment in Kansas Jayhawks. But then I said, hold on, that's too good to be true. let me look at it. This is smelly line. No one has come off the radar at the quarterback position and has pressed more than Jalen Daniels for Kansas. He's completing 67% of his passes, has thrown 7 TDs to just 1 interception, which puts him number 1 in the country in quarterback rating. That's right, number 1 in the country. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, as people know, right? Hey, we in this show have been watching the Jayhawk transformation since last year. When we came at the beginning of the show, said, hey, I think Kansas is going to get better and better. They're getting the recruits in there. I like the coaching staff. They are going to be better and better. And now, guess what? Now they got a competent quarterback in Daniels. I think the transformation is complete. Heck, their wins are more impressive to me than any opponent this week, which is why I give them a big advantage in this game. Hey, they've gone on the road and scored 103 points in the last 2 games against FBS schools, decent schools in West Virginia and at Houston. All right. And now they are 3-0 at home. They're going to get finally a crowd that can give them something to cheer for. So I'm going to take them at home. Yes, I'm not scared of the 7.5. I'm not scared of the Duke Blue Devils being 3-0. I like this Jayhawk team. I like what they're cooking up in the addition. And the smelly line ain't going to scare the calculator away. That's why you got to read into the numbers when the Vegas tries to throw you these smelly lines. I'm going the Jayhawks -7.5. Rock chalk, baby.
All right, there they go. Rock chalk Jayhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Man, basketball school too at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, calculator. Let's get to the next one, man. We got plenty to take care of tonight.
Oh yeah.
So let's.
Hey.
Oh, go ahead. Carry on.
Oh no, Longhorns. We're going to stay in the state of Texas. Yeah. Last week, okay. I was wrong on Texas and Texas Tech last week. Lost both of the bets on their separate games, right? All right. Texas showed its elite talent in the second half as I did take the UTSA. I took little brother with the points, but it wasn't enough, right? So, hey, am I asking for trouble going against an elite coach and a coaching staff with Steve Sarkisian and his staff? Hey, but I think the Red Raiders have the goods to hang around in this game in front in what should be a raucous crowd in Lubbock, Texas. Hey, Tech went to Raleigh, a top 15 team last week, outgained the Wolfpack, but it turned the ball over 4 times. And when you do that, it is hard to stay in a game. All right, hey, I'm going to give Texas a ton of credit for gutting out that win last week, but going on the road against a team coming off a loss as a favorite is going to spell trouble, in my opinion, against a very capable Tech team whose defense is playing better than other people might expect. So, hey, I got the Red Raiders. I got a home crowd, and I got almost a touchdown. So I'm getting me some nice set of points. I think it's going to be a nice defensive battle, and I think Texas Tech, yes, I'm not calling for the outright win, but I think they can win it with 6.5 points to start off the game. So give me the Texas Tech Raiders plus 6.5. And, hey, I do want to add Texas Tech, what put them on my radar at the beginning of the season. I'll give credit where credit is due. Dr. Sachs, this was his surprise of the Big 12 when he came to me early in the season. So when that puts my radar up, it's like, oh, I got to start watching them throughout the year. And, hey, I like what I see from this defense. And I really like what I see from this team when they're going to have a blackout in Texas.
All right, they're going to be pumped up there in Lubbock.
Yes, they are.
All right. Okay. And we like to say, give a shout out to Big Fish Little Boat. He says, what's up? So what's up to the calculator 411?
Nice to see you, Big Fish. Thanks for tuning in.
That's what we out here trying to catch right now. Big fishes.
That's right. Big fish, my friend.
Yes, appreciate you, big fish. All right, next game, calculator.
Hey, the only reason I got this game is nobody else would watch it unless they actually had a friendly wager on it. But I really like the sneak attack of this because, Vegas, they have so many games. Sometimes I think they might just throw out lines thinking, people, just not even research it. This is your James Madison Dukes at the Appalachian State Mountaineers, you're everybody's darling, the Appalachian. I mean, they had game day in there last week, right? And how do you go away from America's team in Appalachian State? But hey, when you look on the other side, you will see a team in the Dukes who have the best opportunity to get a big win in their first year in the Sun Belt that they could ask for, right? Yes, their schedule is very backloaded because they face teams like Louisville and Coastal later on in the season, right? So this is the Dukes' first shot at getting some attention, and I think they are very well coached by Kurt Signetti. Keep that in mind. He is going to be working his way up into bigger schools as he shows his puts forth solid effort after solid effort with lower name teams, right? So I expect a big effort from the Dukes in their first true road test as a Sun Belt team. Yes, I do think James Madison will lose this game, but I'm not. They don't need to win the game. They just need to
Right.
keep it close. I'm getting a full touchdown, so I think they keep it close. Hey, we saw Appalachian State plays close games. Every game seems like it comes down to the last minute. So hey, if it comes down to the last play again, that's fine. I got 7 points. I'm feeling good. Take the 7 points. Take the James Madison Dukes. Shocks the world against the Goliath killer in Appalachian State.
All right, calculator. You're everywhere, man. You're watching every game. You leave no game unwatched. I can tell
Yeah,
that.
and you know what? It's kind of a nice reversal of roles. Appalachian State's going from the David to the Goliath now, and that's why I like to see how those roles being switched, how it affects this team.
That's right, because there was a lot of public momentum going on, especially with
Yep.
the upset that they had at Texas A&M. So
Oh yeah,
very good, very
absolutely.
good. All right, what's next on the agenda?
Oh yeah. Hey, Iowa Hawkeyes at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Hey, a lot of people might be saying, "Hey, calculator, did you see Rutgers struggle just last week against Temple?" And then you can say, calculator. Did you know that Rutgers have failed to score at least 17 points in 9 of its last 13 games against FBS opponents? And guess what? Yes, I do know that. I have seen that. But heck, I will also add, and hey, I'm going to go even further to the people that bring that up. Did you see what Iowa did against Nevada last week? Hey, the calculator called it. I thought they were going to survive against Nevada. I thought they were going to get their offense against a inferior team. But let me say, I've seen this Rutgers Scarlet Knights team in person when I went with them to beat a very capable Boston College team. That defense is legit, and when you have a good defense against an underperforming Iowa, regardless of last week, an Iowa Hawkeye offense, I like my chances in this game because hey, again, I'm not when you look at what's going to happen, I don't think the Rutgers can. It's going to be a defensive slugfest, but I think it's one of those things where they just wear down in the end, right? And that's why I think Iowa is going to do like they did against Nevada. They're just going to grind on it. Just going to grind on it. It's going to get one of those turnovers, get that late touchdown salted away. So that's why I like Iowa minus the 7.5. And as long as this, I'm thinking, and this is what I'm going to advise people. Don't bet this line right away. I think this is a case where you can wait, see if that go down half a point, or even pay up a little vig to get that down to the 7. Because I think this could be a close game. Iowa's not going to blow any team away except for teams like Nevada. But I think Iowa's getting the offense a little bit more on track. Nevada, got in there. So it's like, yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. But I like Iowa because if you look at beginning, see, I always like to look at what a line they call advanced lines at the beginning of the year. Iowa would have been a 14-point favorite against Rutgers before the season, before all these Iowa struggles and so forth. So that's why I really like the Iowa. I'm only giving up 7.5 in this one. So take your Iowa Hawkeyes and give up the 7.5 on this one.
All right,
It's not going to be fun to
7.5.
watch, but hey, I think they'll cover the 7.5.
Well, calculator. As long as you get the number that you want, that you bet on,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great game to watch.
absolutely.
All right. So we have a couple more here, calculator, because we
Yeah,
also
yeah.
have the
Hey,
NFL to go, right?
That's right. And with college, we're going to step into my wheelhouse in the SEC. Hey, I always like a good SEC slugfest. You know what I'm saying? And hey, Arkansas escaped last week versus Missouri State as Bobby Petrino returned to Fayetteville on family night, mind you, for his first time since his head coaching stint ended. The Hogs' defense against the pass rush has not been very good. Heck, it is dead last in the country in pass yards allowed, giving up an average of 352 yards per game. On the other side, Texas A&M got a much needed win against Miami last week. Hey, we called it here on this show as they inserted Max Johnson at quarterback. Hey, A&M's offense wasn't great, but it was effective enough to get the win. But the point here is, I think that even if the Aggies are successful in their passing game, Arkansas still has enough firepower on offense with their quarterback, KJ Jefferson, to outscore the Aggies in what, especially if this gets to be a high scoring game. It doesn't look like to be too much high scoring game at 49.5, but if it does get there, I'm going to take the better offense in this one, right? Yes, weird things happen in this game, but Arkansas is the better team. And if I can get the Razorbacks, right, and I can get 2 points in a neutral field against a inferior team, which I think A&M is completely as a team, I'm going to take it. So, hey, take the Razorbacks. You're getting 2 points. I feel that, and I feel confident enough, I'd actually go on the money line on this one, and I would take the Arkansas for the straight out win. But hey, if you're going to give me the 2 points, I'll take them.
All right, so you're saying take the Razorbacks, and that's
Yes.
and you're familiar with Zach from the Sports Brothers, and growing up, that was his favorite team right there, the Arkansas Razorbacks. So,
that team looks for real. Yes, pass rush is lacking, but their offense is legit. It's hard to stop KJ Jefferson when he starts getting rolling.
yeah. All right. Well, I know that's one of his favorite teams. He'll still keep an eye on that, even though he's a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan now. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back on the other side with a couple of more games to handle before we get into and then we'll get also including the NFL. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on? Ernest Bush Jr., CEO and president of East Bush Jr. Boxing Promotion. Over here off of Mercer University Drive, 3555 Mercer University Drive. You want some real good personal training? Meet your goals? Come see me. I can put you to work. Get those goals. Like I said, I'm located over here off of Mercer University Drive, over here in the Mercer Crossing Shopping Center. I'm open every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. The number over here is 478-254-5442. Or, if you're serious, you can reach me at my cell, 478-319-1502. Come be a part of a real boxing gym. Everything is real in here. Real trainer, real promoter. I promote pro shows in the city. But what I do best is personal training. I can get you in the best shape of your life. Give me a holler, man. Ladies, men, come holler at me. Self-defense, anti-bullying. I also work with kids, starting from the age of 4 years old. That's right, 4 to 7, and 8 to 16. Come shop with me. Have a great day. Peace.
And we're back.
All right, calculator, you know what time it is.
Best for last, my friend.
with epic win.
Oh,
Calculator,
yeah.
let's get it.
No, hey. And the only reason this is on the list again is because it is a jackpot. Hey, let me tell you, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors at the New Mexico State Aggies. Yes, this one looks ugly on paper. It's 8 p.m., right? But I think this is a good spot for the New
Oops.
Mexico State Aggies, who have been blown out. Hey, the Aggies been blown out by Minnesota and Wisconsin, right? But they were done in against Nevada by turnovers, right? Hawaii has not been competitive in any game all year. Heck, look at that opening weekend at home, 63-7 to academic powerhouse Vanderbilt. Yes, let me read that again. 63-7 to Vanderbilt.
Wow.
That's bad, right? Hey, and you have to wonder if this bouncing around by the Rainbow Warriors 2 weeks ago at Michigan, last week at home, getting blown out again to the mainland will have an effect. Hey, the head coach for New Mexico State, Jerry Kill, big coaching edge here, right? Hey, Aggies win at home. Hey, yeah, it's not going to be hey, it might be a blowout, but I'm not going to take the worst team. I'm going to go with the team going. This is like, who are the two worst teams in college football, right? You got UConn up there. You definitely have Hawaii up there, and New Mexico State's not far behind. But hey, New Mexico State's at home. Hawaii's got to go inland. I'm only giving up 4.5 for a team that, in my opinion, all around is better. So hey, take your New Mexico State minus 4.5. 8 o'clock, my friends. Take it to the bank. I like it. Jackpot for the day. New Mexico State Aggies beating your Warriors by 4.5.
Calculator, you know we love those jackpots.
Oh yeah,
Man, definitely appreciate that. Calculator, that takes care of the run of the college matchups.
Mhm.
And speaking of that, you can check out more college football talk on the 401 Sports World Network. You can check us out on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. with Triple Option. And that consists of Zach, Coy, and Orion. And Mr. 401 is there as well. But there's a lot of college football talk. We go over the matchups of the previous day, and we look forward to the following week. So check us out. Triple Option on Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Just type in 411 Sports World on the YouTube to stay on track with us. All right. We're going to transition now, Calculator. We're leaving the college game now, and we're going to head over to the professionals. But
the
before
people
we
that
do
get
this,
paid.
yeah, they
That's
get
right.
paid, and they get paid a lot, Calculator. Almost as much as you, Calculator. But guess what? Tonight, right? Thursday night football, a lot of people are having difficulty finding these games. And just like this gentleman right here trying to figure out how to put the game on Thursday night at the local sports bar,
Yeah,
trying to figure out how to find it. But you know, the games have been on Prime now.
it's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon paid like $14 million to do Thursday night games, so you know they get the rights to it.
Absolutely. So you have to figure it out your own way right now. Because I know the NFL said thank you for that 14 million. But tonight, Thursday night football, Steelers at the Browns. So it's a AFC Northern Division matchup. And so let's go ahead and get into our picks, Calculator.
Yeah, and you know, starting off, you know, this one's I think is an ugly game. Cleveland, they're getting beat up all on the defensive side because that was their bread and butter. But we saw they just got sliced and diced by Joe Flacco. But guess what? I'm still going with the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win this one. I think they're at home. I think Josie Brissett is going to do enough. I think T.J. Watt not being for the Steelers is going to really hamper the Steelers. Yes, this one ain't going to be pretty, but I think Cleveland can squeak it out a win. So if you're in a pool, hopefully, if you got an early game, just put it on the Browns, hold your nose, and go with it. It's only a 4.5 spread, so that even Vegas doesn't know what to do with that with all the injuries that the Browns are doing. But I like the Browns. So let's just go down the slate. As you can see, the highlights. I think the Saints, broken back Jameis Winston. I think he has enough that he's going to be able to beat Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers. Chicago Bears, yes, they have the one thing that they will need to be able to beat Houston, and that is a running game. So I think David Montgomery will pull them across the finish line, and their defense hold off those pesky Texans enough for a Chicago Bear win. I really like the Chiefs at Indianapolis. Word on the street saying, "Hey, this is the Colts opener." Well, you know what? The Chiefs like playing indoors. The Chiefs got extra rest. The Chiefs have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and pretty much their whole offense actually healthy. Indianapolis beat up at the wide receiver position, beat up at the linebacker position. They still don't know if Leonard's going to be back. I think that's just a little too much, and that's why I have this listed as a road team, as a survivor pick. If you still have avoided the week 1 and week 2 carnage at the survivor pool, take the Chiefs. This is a good spot for them. I like the Buffalo Bills of Miami. Yes, Miami surprised everybody with Baltimore. They're not going to be able to do that against a Buffalo's Bills, because the Buffalo's Bills, even though they have a few secondary injuries, they have a better pass rush than Baltimore does, and Tua will not have the time he needs for those speedy receivers to get down the field. Buffalo wins. I think Buffalo wins double digits in this one, actually. So yeah, Minnesota, I think they bounce back. Detroit's going to score points, but I think Minnesota being at home will give them the edge, and I think they'll outscore the Detroit Lions in this one. Baltimore Ravens, yes, the Patriots, squeaked against a very faulty Pittsburgh team, but I think Baltimore rights the ship. I think they'll get things right, and I think they'll do enough to beat the Patriots. Another survivor pick. I like the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, the 0-2 Bengals. Listen, they're not going to give up what the Browns gave up to the Jets last week. I like Cincinnati to win. I like them to win fairly comfortably. That's why I have it. If you somehow pick the Chiefs with your first 2 picks and they're not available, that's why I always like to give a second survivor pick out there. I like your Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Jets. Another unpopular pick, when I was looking at percentages, the Raiders are actually favored by 64% straight up in the public, but I think Tennessee just have some bad luck. Yes, they lost their left tackle, but actually, if you look at the left tackle, Lewan, he wasn't playing that good anyways. And I think the Raiders are still going to be hung over after that Arizona loss. So I like the Titans being able to beat the Raiders who have to travel cross country to the home field. Eagles, I think they keep their tongue. Hey, you can tell your family members that
Yes.
hey, the Eagles, they're going to continue to ride high on that, right? Yes, the Commanders. The one thing and I'll just go a little bit in depth. The reason I went on, a lot of people might say, hey, why won't I do this for Survivor? Well, first of all, I don't like doing the interdivision games and Survivor picks. Another thing that worries me about Washington has 3 really good receivers, right? And the Eagles, they have 2 great cornerbacks, but they struggle in the nickel. So I think Washington is going to run 3 wide receiver sets pretty much the whole game. And Logan Thomas is no slouch at tight end. So I think they'll be able to score. Detroit showed that you can score on Philadelphia if you have them at a disadvantage. So yes, I like the Eagles against the Commanders, but I think it's going to be closer than the people think. I like the Chargers against Jacksonville, but I'm telling you, Jacksonville is one of those sneaky little teams. That's why I don't have this listed as a survivor, because Herbert's not 100%. Keenan Allen is not 100%. Jacksonville is 100%, right? So, and I mean, Robinson's looking like did he really tear his Achilles last year? He's looking out there. He's looking
great.
better than there. Yeah, looking like he had a little bit more juice than last year, right? So, yeah, so even though I like the Chargers to win, this one could be that one's just tough. And they can win big. I'm just not putting a survivor pick on it, so that's why they're not a survivor pick for me. I like the Rams to take business against Arizona Cardinals. Has played 1 good quarter in the past 2 games, and you cannot do that against the Rams because Aaron Donald will not allow you to come back if you get in a hole. So I like the Rams in that one. Here's another one. A lot of people like Seattle this week. I don't know why. No offense, Mr. 411. I know you're a Seattle fan.
None taken.
But you know what?
We won our 1 game of the year.
Yeah. That was y'all Super Bowl, right? Actually 77% of the public is actually liking Seattle. So I like to zig where others zag. That's how you win pools. You got to pick some teams that are pickable. But from what I've seen from the Falcons, is they're feisty. They got two solid corners, so they can actually lock down. In my opinion, they can lock down Metcalf and Tyler Lockett when he has Geno throwing to him. And I think the Falcons do have enough on defense to give or enough on offense to give Seattle some problems on the defensive side. So I think the Falcons will actually squeak out a win in this one, right? And the Packers, here's another one, Tampa Bay. Hey, Tampa Bay is backed by Joe Public, but I'm telling you, Tampa Bay is hurting right now. Julio might play. Godwin probably will not play. The offensive line, they still need their two interior guards back. The tackle is, still a little big. Tom Brady is not looking like a young Tom Brady out there. And I don't think the Packers will give him enough time to run. The one thing that worries me about this game in Green Bay is their run defense. We saw that, they can be run on. David Montgomery was fairly good in the run against them. However, Tampa Bay is your typical, this year's Tampa Bay, I compare it for the people that are Top Gun fans out there. Tampa Bay's Iceman, right? They just steady. They do their thing and they wait for the other team to make mistakes. Last week they waited for the Saints to implode on turnovers. The first week they waited till again Dallas had all those turnovers and an injury, and Tampa Bay took advantage. Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay team are too well coached. They got their stinker out of the way in the beginning of the year like they always do. They're going to be coming in focused, and I think they're not going to make the mistakes Tampa Bay will need to win this game. So I like the Green Bay Packers taking down Iceman in your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the 49ers, I'm sorry, I don't like what I see from Russell Wilson. Yes, I'm scared of what Russell Wilson bringing to the table. And now Jerry Jeudy might miss the game. 49ers have a great pass rush, and I think the 49ers are better with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. He's experienced. The guy made it to one Super Bowl, and if it wasn't for Mike Shanahan, would have won that Super Bowl, in my honest opinion, with his offensive play calling. However, I digress. And they almost made it to the Super Bowl last year, losing to the eventual Super Bowl champion in the Rams, which was a very close game. I like the 49ers in this spot, even at Mile High. It's higher elevation, but it's only like a 3-hour drive from San Francisco. So, I could be wrong. Calculator's not good in geography, but I spend most of that time on football picks. But hey, I like the 49ers in this one. Dallas Cowboys. Hey, yes, the Giants are 2-0. The Giants have beat well, I wouldn't say Tennessee's a bad team. The Giants was outgained, outplayed. However, they were they were a missed 43-yard field goal away from a loss to the Tennessee. So yes, Cooper Rush shows that he can win games. I'm not a fan of the Giants. I think the Cowboys sneak in again to get another close win, because I'm not a fan of this Giants team. It's pretty much, if Saquon Barkley can do what he could do, they're going to win. Dallas has the defense that can slow what the Giants do, and they can slow them down enough to where they can get enough CeeDee Lamb passes and enough Ezekiel and Tony Pollard runs to get some more field goals. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game, but I think Dallas takes this one on Monday night.
All right, man. That is the calculator. Once again, we thank him. And those are the NFL picks for this upcoming week. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notify, so that you can even go back and listen to it again, and make sure you don't miss any of your selections, because there was a lot of great picks out here today. And Big Fish, Little Boat again, he must like Detroit, because he says Detroit is different this year. He's liking Detroit.
And I'll give Big Fish credit. He was right. This is they showed a lot of moxie in their first loss against Philadelphia, Philadelphia's proved to be a good team. And you know what? And then they took care of business against another NFC East opponent in the Washington Commanders. However, this Minnesota Vikings team, when they're at home and it's not prime time, Cousins comes out to play. So that's why I think they are a different team, as long as they're not in the spotlight, as we've seen. So that's why I think Minnesota Vikings will outscore score enough. I don't. The Detroit Lions doesn't have big play Slay to be able to cover Justin Jefferson in this one. So that's why I think Minnesota will eat big against Detroit, and that's why I have them to pick to beat a surprising better team in Detroit. Because I'm sorry, if Steve Hutchinson, he had a cramp last, and we saw that pass rush is nowhere near as effective when he's off the field. So that could be if he's off the field, Minnesota is going to be able to pass at will on them.
All right. Yes, sir, calculator. And you speaking of eating, as soon as we're done here, that's what Mr. 401 is going to do. Because I didn't have much to eat today. So, pineapples and raspberries, that's just not enough for me today. I'm gonna have to go ahead and take care of something to eat and get ready for the Thursday night matchup.
That's right. And for those people that stopped at after that first pick and they're back, hope you're able to get Coastal Carolina minus the 2, because I do like the Dr. Sack special for tonight.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, he's the calculator. I'm Mr. 401. We thank you all for watching. Crossing the lines. We'll see you again next week.
All right.
Have a good one.
Night.